All right, let's talk Secret Invasion. Fury and Talos try to stop the Skrulls, who infiltrated the highest spheres of the Marvel Universe. Um, I want to say we're going to go through kind of just talk about the season, but episode 6 in particular, I saw today, has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, which
God,
is
that
the
is
lowest
insane.
Marvel thing of any Marvel show or movie or anything like that. So I want to mention that. Me and Aiden watched it. We were watching it every week. And I want to say, I think when the show started, the first few episodes, I was actually liking it quite a bit. It was kind
Yep.
of middle tier Marvel show for me, but I still enjoyed watching it. They kill off Maria Hill in the first episode, which I thought, wow, that's crazy because she's been with us since the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Talos ends up getting killed. They do big things, but I feel like the way it ended, it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth a little bit. But what did you think of the beginning half of the season? Did you enjoy watching them? I thought they're pretty good.
So I mean, dude, this is one of the most anticipated like Marvel shows that I've had on my list for a long time since they announced it. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember at that whatever they do on the screens and they showed like the timeline,
Yeah,
Secret Invasion. Like we were watching some YouTube videos on it and all that because I mean, none of us have ever read the comics, but you just know what like the possibilities are. And you go in, you're watching this, you're like, all right, like was it one of their highest budget shows?
yeah. So it
I
cost
think
$212
that's yeah,
million
yeah,
dollars.
that's insane, dude. So we go in, we see it. I mean, obviously, you got to give it to fuck, um,
Samuel L. Jackson.
yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. You got to give it to him, man. I think that he did a good job from start to finish.
Mm.
I mean, especially like just the fact that he's got to alter his like acting or whatever to fit another character that's impersonating him as a scroll, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I liked it. It was like a dark noir type like vibe, and
Yeah,
I think that it was cool that I mean, like you kind of get that it's just Fury's mission and it's like him and himself only. He's not going to rely on anyone else, which obviously kind of alters throughout the show. But I think the first episode was good. It dragged me in. Second episode was really good. I mean, they start introducing more characters. We see Gravik. Is that his name?
yeah. Who
Um,
is played by Kingsley Benair, and we didn't
yep.
even mention he was also in Barbie, which I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So he's in
And
both the things we're reviewing in this
that
episode.
was
But
hilarious because I had no idea he was in Barbie either. And seeing him like
yeah,
after watching the finale of Secret Invasion, it just made Barbie even more fun to watch. I
funny.
guess you could say, yeah.
Yeah.
But what'd you think of the first couple episodes?
Yeah, I thought they're setting things up. We got Don Cheadle in episode 2, and people were speculating right off the bat that he was probably a Skrull, which we figured out he was.
I thought so.
Yeah, but I thought even the cast like Mendelsohn, sorry, Ben Mendelsohn, who
Yep.
plays Talos. I like Talos and Nick Fury's relationship a lot. I even liked it in Captain Marvel, so to see it here, I thought really worked a lot. I liked how I think Nick Fury says his middle age crisis or midlife crisis was building the Avengers, which is
Yeah,
hilarious. And then too,
it's
like the
quarter life
episode started.
crisis.
Yes, core life crisis. Yeah, I like that they explain like I guess in flashbacks at the beginning of the first few episodes of how Nick Fury got the Skrulls to start working for him while trying to find them a planet to live on. I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
cool too.
I think it
It's
would
like a
have been a
secret
little bit
group.
better if they would have shown some flashbacks. I
Mhm.
think that would have added to the story a little bit,
Yeah,
considering that, I mean, obviously, like, what happens, but I feel like Disney doesn't take, or Disney Marvel doesn't take into consideration, like, newcomers to Marvel. Like, I
yeah.
mean, if you've never seen any movie, why would you ever in your right mind turn this on?
No, you wouldn't.
You would have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They that's how they make all these shows. They expect you to know everything
Yeah, hundred
right off the
percent.
bat. So, um, and they even
I
tie in like in 2012, they tie in the Avengers thing a little bit in a newspaper, right? It's like little things like that. But yeah, you really
yeah.
wouldn't know to
Remember
what you said.
Hawkeye? Like that's the only one where we really get a flashback of like 2012 or whenever
Yeah,
the first Avengers movie takes place, and you
yeah,
know you got that entire scene from the movie, but then it cuts to an additional scene of whatever her name was
yeah. Even
over
Loki
there.
does that with Avengers Endgame. They show you that
Yeah,
clip
when
at the
they
beginning.
go and he
Yeah,
uses the Tesseract to dip out.
to dip out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. And then too, you meet Priscilla, his wife.
Yep.
Um, I liked aspects of it, and then I think the way the episode or the show ended with them was like, ugh. But I
Yeah.
did like the relationship. The one episode where she's ordered to kill him,
Yeah.
and they're both aiming their guns at each other. I like that scene a lot too.
I think that's like the last good scene of this entire show.
yeah, that
I
they
mean,
had,
there's
yeah.
more. I mean, we got to give it to what is her name, Olivia Colman, who we
Great.
saw in The Bear. I mean, dude, she's a great actress. She's in a bunch of stuff that I mean, I'm not going to go on a name, but I think that every time that she's on like camera, like she's on the screen, it's better than anything that we see in the entirety of the show.
It would have been cool if maybe she was a scroll.
I do. So I mean, I'm going to jump around here now because we kind of got to the basis of it, but Secret Invasion. There's how many scrolls were on Earth? 1 million.
They said 1 million. Yeah,
1 million
that's
scrolls
a lot.
are on Earth, and we just see them take over. Obviously, some government officials and high powers in like the government and in the world, but we don't see any. The craziest one was Rhodey, who we knew was a scroll when you see him on screen. Like it just makes sense. And then you go and you see all this, like, dude, Secret Invasion. They like even when they were like marketing it, when they announced it, they're like, your favorite characters. You don't know who's who and who's what. And it's like, dude, like the Hulk could have been a fucking scroll this whole time. Like it could have been anything, you know? And we literally get one person out of the entire MCU that's a scroll, and that's Rhodey. And then it doesn't even matter because now, I mean, you can take into consideration how far it dates back. And they were saying Civil War, which is insane.
Yeah, so I saw the director believes that he's been a scroll since Civil War, but they show there's scenes in Endgame and Infinity War where Rhodey's bleeding, and it's red blood where the scrolls bleed purple.
Yeah, so then it can't be.
So it's like continuity. Yeah, because he's in the hospital gown, so people think it's from when he had the accident in Civil War. So it's like, and I really hope it's not. I really hope it was after Endgame during. I don't know, like during the 5-year blip, maybe they take him after. Maybe he went to go get a colonoscopy. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I hope it's not Civil War, and I'm sure they'll explain it in his show. I think it's Armor Wars, which isn't a show now. Actually, it's a movie, I guess, which sucks even more because now we need time with the character to reflect on what happened to him in this show, and now we got to scram it into like a 2-hour movie.
Dude, but that's why
it's a pain in the ass.
We haven't even talked about the deepest hole that Marvel's dug themselves ever, which is the ending of the show. And I mean, you just go like, that's why like Marvel, they do a good job, but like ever since Endgame, like it's just been downhill. Like we have a good movie, bad movie, good movie, bad movie, and good show, bad show, good show, bad show. And you already know like what you're gonna expect. Like I don't have any expectations for anything after this. Like, and I say that with all the other ones, but like I know Mike and you guys love your what do they call it? Like announcements or cameos or predictions and shit like that. But I don't believe a word that I read online. And
until you see it.
Just like, dude, they just dig themselves deeper at every finale. And like, when are we going to see Gaia again? When are we going to see Nick Fury? I mean, obviously we're going to see Nick Fury in the Marvels, but like they already showed the trailer for the Marvels knowing that like you think that, is Nick Fury going to die? And you're waiting for it, and then you see that trailer, like, no, well, that takes place after Secret Invasion, so he's not dead.
Yeah, and it's like, is Gaia going to be in the Marvels, or are they sending her to, like, Secret Wars? Like, I don't know, because now, I mean, we could talk about it. They had the Harvest, which took every DNA of whoever was in the Endgame fight, although they had, like, Ghost's DNA, so I don't know if she's, like, if it's because of S.H.I.E.L.D. they have her DNA. Yeah, like, there's so much shit that's unexplained. But, dude, the list of heroes that they get the powers for, Thanos is on the list, who's known as one of the most powerful beings in the universe. He has it. Captain Marvel, who's known as one of the most powerful beings in the whole universe, too. She has it. And then, like, you know, they have Ebony Maw, right? And she shifts into his arm. He's got rings on. Like, how do they know how to use these powers? Drax's arm. Like, Drax's arm. Drax, the character, those are like tattoos on him. It's not his like species that has those red marks. Yeah, so it's like, how does she ever his actual arm and know how to use these powers? And if it was a character that we cared more about, then it'd be a little different. But the fact that it's Gaia, who just met, we're not really connected to yet. It's like she's the most powerful thing.
100%. And it's also crazy that Gravik has the exact same powers as her. And I guess they said that she's smarter. She like knew what to do, like she was more defensive, but
Yeah.
that in how easily she defeated Gravik,
Yeah.
like so she can be just as easily defeated, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And
I wish
then,
they would have said like the powers were wearing off or something. You know what I mean? Like something
dude,
like that.
so
It's
I
so
think that
dumb.
it would have been so much better. You see Gaia disguised as Fury,
Yeah.
going in, and I'm like, wow, like Fury's actually gonna get some powers right here. Like this is gonna be sick. Like
Hmm.
it makes sense, you know. Like all right, like he's never had powers, and that's like his superpower is that he's just smart, I guess you could say. Um, but it's not like he's a genius. He's just good with. He's strategic,
Clever.
I guess you could say. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
clever and strategic. But then you see that, and that's when I like sat up. I'm like, damn, like Fury's actually gonna get powers. Like this is gonna be sick. Like he's gonna be fighting alongside him, and he's gonna look younger and all that. And then it ends up being Gaia. And I literally like audibly said, "What the fuck?" And
Yeah.
then you see her, and then obviously, I mean, you get that whole breakdown. I understand the harvest was a cool like concept. It made sense, but then they had like Ghost in there, which made no sense. Unless Ghost was in Endgame battle, and I mean, you just don't see
I
it.
don't. Yeah. I mean, well, too. Like, okay, the power of the Hulk was in there, and then there's Captain America and Bucky. Well, what's the
Yeah,
point of having Captain America and Bucky if you already have the Hulk? Like, that's the whole point,
yeah.
right? The strength and
But then
everything. So it's
also
like,
they don't even like specify if it's Steve Rogers or if it's
yeah,
Falcon.
Falcon. Yeah, you don't
And
know. So
yeah, and
I don't
then
know. And two, to bring it back to the comics really quick, which is what they're basing the show off roughly. In the comics, there was a Super Scroll to defeat the Fantastic Four, but able to get those powers, it had all four of the powers of the Fantastic Four only, and it
yeah.
couldn't shapeshift anymore.
Hmm.
So like once you're in your scroll form, you're stuck. Like you know what I mean. So
Yeah, they
to
were
have
like,
all these powers, 14 different powers or whatever, or how many we've seen, it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
But that's also where you go. You're like, all right, you understand that they just got all the powers of all these like heroes and stuff and villains, and then you go and you're like, holy shit, this is going to be one of the best fight scenes like in the entirety of the MCU. And you're sitting there, you're watching it, and it is just piss poor, dude. It is
Yeah.
just a complete letdown. I mean, I guess some of it was cool. Gravik gets like Thanos' chin and stuff like that. I mean, you can see, and he gets like his arm, but like Gaia switching her like leg into the Hulk, punching him, like doing all that.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that one shot of Fury with Hulk's fist, like that was
Yeah,
sick. And then
that was
you
cool.
go and it ends up being Gaia, and it's like, all
Well,
right,
and the only cool move she really did was when she turned into Mantis and like put him
yeah,
to sleep.
yeah,
But besides that, there was really no clever use of the powers that they just so happened to know how to use.
yeah. Just
You know
the
what I
fact
mean?
that they just start turning into Captain Marvel and start flying around and shit
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Well, too, like, okay, if you think of it this way, like Miss Marvel, right, who is a show that we got, and it's a character that has been obsessed with the Avengers. She grew up with them and stuff like that. If a character like her got the powers, then, like, maybe it'd make a little bit more sense that she'd kind of know how to use them and right the way
yeah,
sees them. Gaia, you know, you're supposed to believe she has no interest in that shit. Like, it's crazy that they just knew how to use everything. And too, like,
yeah.
Gravik's been planning this for years. You'd think he'd be more equipped and ready to go when he got the powers, so.
Yeah, and then especially like, I mean, after watching that, the only thing you can think of is when are we going to see Gaia again? And I mean,
Yeah.
I understand they used what's her name, Amelia Clark, as like a big name.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's going to bring people in and stuff like that, but I mean, even that's the thing too. You bring in a big name like Amelia Clark from Game of Thrones, and you're like, oh, maybe like we'll drag in the Game of Thrones audience. But you can't bring them into this, and they're like, all right, well, they turn it off after the first 20 minutes because they're like, who is this? What is going on? They have no idea what anything is. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's like a good marketing, like a good casting, but it realistically backfires on them.
Yeah, and them doing
If
that
that was
fake
their
death
goal.
too. And I think it was
Yeah,
episode
and
3 or 4.
I
Like,
mean,
dude, there's
I-
so much trailer footage of her still. Like, that
Yeah,
you saw in
so
the
I
first
mean, I
trailer.
didn't really watch too many trailers, but when she died, I'm like, all right, well, she's not dead, and we see her come
Yeah.
back. Then you're like, all right, well, then we get Maria Hill back, but that was like never, and especially after every episode, she died in like what episode 2 or 1,
One.
and then it still says special guest on
Because
each
they kept showing
credit.
the clip of her getting shot by Nick
Yeah.
Fury. So that's that, and they had to do that.
That's
yeah,
what it
it's
makes
stupid.
sense, but it was still like, why?
Yeah, there's
But
no
I
point.
mean, we can go back to the kind of the beginning. Ben Mendelsohn does a great job. I thought that it was cool bringing him back as Talos.
But dude, even him getting the powers would have been better.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
And like everyone but Gaia. I mean, I understand, but
Yeah.
it's just like then you see Olivia Colman, whatever her Sonia. They go and they're building a team now.
Yeah.
all right, what team, like, what is actually going on? We already got Civil War. Like,
She is the team.
I guess what is it? Not Secret Invasion.
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars is supposed to be that huge one, but I mean, dude, they have so many characters that like you're not going to see for 5-6 years. They're just going to show up. Like, it's going to be harder to write that than it was for them to write Endgame.
Oh yeah,
and it's going to be impossible. And like, dude, we still haven't gotten. I don't know. Deadpool's like what our next one after the Marvels.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean,
May,
that's going to be
right now, might
it's
get
going to be
pushed back.
bad, good. So I mean, it's just going to keep going on. So.
Yeah, no, it's a vicious cycle, and you know, I think that last episode really left a sour taste in my mouth because, like I said, a sour taste in my mouth because I texted you right after. I'm like, did you watch it yet? Because I wanted to text you a couple of my thoughts because that I think episode 5, the end of episode 5, when you see him suit up and like put the eye patch back on, me and you were both kind of excited to see where the show was going to end.
Yeah, but then you think that he's going to like sacrifice himself, like, all right,
or
he has to be the one
to
do it. It's like, all right, I understand if Nick Fury dies. But then, I mean, it just takes a complete left turn.
Yeah, the fact that, like, he knows there's, like, 1 million Skrulls on Earth and that most of them are rogue or a good chunk of them, and he doesn't fucking care. He leaves Earth. He's like, we gotta go do shit. Like,
yeah, exactly.
No,
and, like, the world's in shambles. And then, especially, I love the ending scene. That's really the only part where, you know, like, America's revolting against the Skrulls and stuff like that. And they're going up to, you know, they're basically assassinating public figures and like high powers in the government just point blank. And it's all right, some of them are Skrulls, some aren't. So they're killing innocent people.
And that scene too, at the very end, that's super quick with Olivia Colman, where they find all those bodies that are
yeah, what was that?
I guess it's a hive mind. Like there's more Skrulls out there taking over people, and that's like a hidden place. But like they don't explain
gotta find
anything.
1 million bodies.
Yeah, they don't explain anything. And then, too, you could look at the people in those machines and tell that, okay, hey, this person is a Skrull in the real world. Go kill them or go take them out, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's her plan, but it's like, dude, like, explain any of that. Like, there's none of that in there.
No, and I read, it makes zero sense.
That this show had 4 months of reshoots. 4 months of reshoots. That's a long-ass time, especially for a show. It's crazy. So I'm guessing that's
what did they possibly change? Of that I mean, I guess I think it would have been so much better if one more, like, big names in the MCU would have been Skrulls. Like Rhodey, no one gives a shit if we're being honest. Like, I mean, like that's one of my least favorite characters, just because, like, I mean, he doesn't do anything for you. He's a recast for one, and two, like it was always like funny seeing him. But then you go and like, I did like the part where they were trying to like start World War III, basically like nuclear warfare, and especially like knowing Oppenheimer was coming up. Like, I think that would have been a great like imagine the Avengers fighting against like real world problems and shit like that. Like, oh shit, a nuke's going off, like people are dying, and then they have to like, they could even go back in time. I don't know. They could do something, or just I don't know. But I think that it was. I mean, they kept doing callbacks to the Avengers and stuff like that, which you were waiting for. But I mean, it's glad that none of them showed up. But then realistically, all of them showed up.
Yeah. Well, no, and to your point too, they do shit like where something will happen and then it's not mentioned or doesn't come up for years and years and years. Dude, it's been years since Eternals, and that guy came out of the fucking planet, and no one's mentioned it since. Where you know what I'm talking about? The Celestial came out of the planet, his head's fucking popping out of the ocean with the hand, and no one's mentioned it since.
Every single thing that we get after that, everyone always goes online and bitches about it too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean they do have one thing that it could be like that planet where all the mutants go, but it's like half out of the ocean. It's not that big.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's ridiculous. And the whole Gaia thing, being a god now or whatever the hell, like she's got the power of Thor, everyone, Thanos, like it's crazy. I don't even remember Thanos bleeding. I think he pretty much turned into dust. So
they did a little bit, but the only thing that could be good is realistically like killing her off or nerfing her. Yeah. But then it's like, what is she? You can't see her on like a movie with like these guys, you know?
I don't know. I don't know what the plan is with her.
We haven't even got Kit Harington as Black Knight. We haven't even seen Blade yet, and we're getting all these new characters that they just keep introducing. The guy from Ted Lasso as Hercules. Mm-hmm. We have all those characters from Eternals, the ones that are still out there, and they're literally the most powerful. All of them. Yeah, Harry Styles character. What else do we have? Then we got all those young Avengers that they were building up to, and I mean, at this point, it already should have been out.
There's a ton of stuff.
New Guardians. It's just nonstop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think
crazy.
that they needed just a flat reset.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think this last episode it ruined the show for me.
Buzzkill for sure.
Yeah, I didn't even mind the first 5, and I had a good score in my head, and then like I brought it down a decent amount from that last episode because it just the way it ended just sucked.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, do you want to get into scores for it?
Yep. You want me to lead off?
Sure.
Yep. So, I mean, this definitely isn't going to be a good score. I mean, there were good parts of it. I'm not going to lie, but like I said, Samuel L. Jackson did a great job. I thought Olivia Colman was good. I thought Emilia Clarke was good for the most part. I mean, she's still a good actress. Like, I mean, they just write her character shitty, basically. But Ben Mendelsohn was good. I thought that... Damn, what was I going to say? I thought Gravik's character was good. I think it was kind of ridiculous that he's like this leader of like... what do you say? Like anti-Skrulls, basically. They just want to live in their own skin, but they're never in their own skin if they're soldiers.
Never.
And then... I thought the president scenes were absolutely dog shit. Why is the president not dead? And like we get Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's the president.
Who is going to be the president?
Yeah, he's going to be the president. So why would they not set that up?
I thought he was going to die. I thought this president was going to die.
Why would he not die? Whatever. Unless the Skrull maybe is Harrison Ford, that might be good. Like that'd be a good little twist. But I think it's stupid that if we don't get Skrulls mentioned in every single project after this, like it's just pointless. But I thought Nick Fury's wife was good. I thought she did a good job. I mean, I feel like when Olivia Colman's going around Sonya and she's taking out like people that are Skrulls, like, you know, like blowing their cover and stuff like that. I thought that would have been great. Like you can give her a whole show, like, and that's what they could have done. They literally could have made him in an ideal Secret Invasion. We get more big MCU names that are Skrulls. 2, you see Nick Fury going out and taking out these Skrulls that are the, you know, big names that they're like, you know, obviously impersonating. They took over their lives. I think that would have been good. Like a space, like a different, like kind of like Mando, where he goes on different bounties each episode.
Or dude, if Gravik was like his son, like Nick Fury's son, because he's married to a Skrull. You know what I mean?
And even like Gravik, like I thought he was cool, but when he's saying he's got all these followers and he's like, you guys are worthless, you're nothing. Like, okay, he's gonna nuke literally his own people.
Doesn't give any of them powers.
No, it doesn't make any sense. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, we could sit here and nitpick this for fucking hours, but I was let down, definitely. Mm-hmm. I mean, just like with every other thing that they drop. But I don't know. I'd probably give this a 68 out of 100. I think 68 is even too high, but I'm gonna give it for Samuel L. Jackson and all those other people I mentioned. So.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm actually going 65. And honestly, after the 5th episode, I was mid 70s. I think like I was a lot higher on this.
Yeah,
that last episode took it down like a nice 10 points for me. It sucks that it ended on that bad of a note because, you know, I was enjoying the show. So I watched it every Wednesday. I was looking forward to it, and then after that, I was like, really? And I was happy when I went online, and a lot of people agreed. People are acting like it's the worst thing they've ever seen. I don't think it's that bad. Like an 8% is crazy, but I mean, it raises a valid point that a lot of people are agreeing with it. Then you know it's shit. So, and I saw too. Kevin Feige was like one of the main people pushing that end fight. So,
God, of course,
and said all powers are available to use. So it's I don't know. Maybe he's losing.
I can't
his touch
imagine just what the. Damn, what was I gonna say? Go ahead,
dude. It's like a bunch of people in a CEO office at Mattel.
Yeah, literally.
For example, or like, let's give them all the powers. Let's try that. Like,
no, but what I was gonna say is the ending. Like when you see Nick Fury go on to space with his wife, and he's like kissing a Skrull. Like, yeah, he's married to her. He loves her. But then you go and like, what does anyone that watches this have to look forward to? It doesn't set up anything. Sets up absolutely nothing.
No,
it's like I don't know if there was an end credit scene. I didn't even pay attention.
There wasn't.
Oh, so
I looked. Yeah, because like I was like, it's gonna end there because there's so many things unanswered. So I don't know. We'll see. Like I guess the Rhodey thing will be addressed in his movie. But like I
guarantee we get the movie and they don't even address it. They just push it on the rug.
Yeah, they might not. So that's what's stupid about these. But
yeah.
But all right.
I mean, whoever's listening to this, please give us your thoughts because it is only me and Josh here. So we'd love to get more insight. I've seen a couple of different podcasts talking about Secret Invasion, and everyone just got the same idea that it's
dogging on it.
grade A dog shit. So
Yeah, we don't even have our MCU guy, Mikey, here.
yeah, Mike's a fake MCU fan,
Oh yeah, no, he would have loved it.
but he'll tell you all
No,
about Superman and Lois.
Yeah, Superman and
Okay.
Supergirl show.
Green Lantern. Yeah.
No, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back on Tuesday with Titanic. We got a special guest who we've never had before. I think in August we have a few new guests that we've never had on before, so it's pretty exciting.
Nice.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Appreciate it. See you next week.
See you.